Sometimes I speak with a British accent, even though I'm not British.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst TV shows of 2022 so far.
What you call overthinking, I call evaluating from all sides to make the most informed decision.
For this list, we'll be looking at the lowest hanging fruit of television that's aired through to July of 2022. There may be more to come, but these are the stinkers we've watched thus far, so that you don't have to. Did we miss any? What creative eyesores are you still trying to forget? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Number 10. The Pentaverate. Remember 1993 when Mike Myers married a potentially homicidal Nancy Travis?
I need you. Let's just get married, okay? Harriet, be my wife.
Imagine a modern dose of that poison. Myers produces, writes, and stars in this 6-episode comedy about a Canadian journalist trying to rescue the world from the eponymous Pentaverate.
The Pentaverate,
Whoa, the
FIFA.
Pentaverate. I've never heard of the Pentaverate.
Yeah, the Pentaverate. The 5 elites, so-called experts that have been running the world since the Black Plague.
This screwy version of the Illuminati supposedly controls the world, and their aside mention in the film So I Married an Axe Murderer inspired this brief miniseries.
There's a secret society of the 5 wealthiest people in the world, known as the Pentaverate, who run everything in the world, including the newspapers.
The SNL alum is a man of too many faces, giving life to each Pentaverate member and inspiring humor with none of them. Mike Myers as the creative head of an eccentric show like this should have been a slam dunk, but instead it just feels like Mike Myers has Mike Myers'd enough. Even a clever Shrek cameo couldn't save the day.
Now get out of my swamp! And stay down!
Thanks, Shrek.
You're welcome, laddie.
Number 9. The Thing About Pam. Creating quality television based on real life is tough enough, even before you try to make it funny.
With you and your condition, how's the game going? You know, maybe we just go ahead and call it a night.
The Thing About Pam featured Renee Zellweger as Pam Hupp, a Missouri woman who stood trial for her connections to the murder of terminally ill coworker Betsy Faria. A visibly transformed Zellweger received critical compliments for her enjoyable stint as Hupp, but some found the show's comedic atmosphere to be dismissive of the tragic story.
You know, what's interesting is that she doesn't really fit the prototype of person that you would suspect of any wrongdoing.
Supporting cast, like the invaluable Judy Greer, did their best to sell the strange tone. Ultimately, though, offbeat voiceover and awkward scripting left us wondering if it was okay to laugh for many of the scenes. It's probably best that this Dateline-inspired dramedy was only a limited series.
This story is about the evil that smiles and helps and sympathizes, that worms its hidden way into unsuspecting minds.
Number 8. Stuck. Need to feel better about that thing you just got stuck in your gluteus maximus? Look no further.
So it sounds like this young lady lost a foreign body in her rectum.
TLC brings you Stuck, a reality show that's all about the aches and excruciating pains of removing foreign objects from the human body. Interviews with surgeons and patients gave us a full probing of strange extractions, which ranged from a piece of metal, an insect that got too exploratory, or specialty equipment lodged where the sun don't shine.
This part of the ear canal is pretty sensitive, and I'll do my best to not have it hurt at all, but these little creatures are a little sharp. He needs to stay as still as possible.
We're not sure exactly who the target audience is, but the cringy premise does little more than shine a bright light on procedures that are better left described in euphemism. It might be for the Dr. Pimple Popper fans out there, but we think even they might turn away.
See, no one wants to admit to them that they stuck something up there. Never. It's always an accident. Every proctologist story ends in the same way. It was 1,000,000 to 1 shot, Doc.
Number 7. God's Favorite Idiot. It's classified as an apocalyptic workplace comedy, and that summation already bodes some genre-blending trouble. It's not just another day at the office when Amelie Luck's co-worker Clark inexplicably begins to glow.
Clark is sitting at his desk, where he always is, except he's glowing.
Glowing? What do you mean glowing?
Glowing. He was actually literally glowing, like this, from the inside.
The staff speculates that the phenomenon may be religious in nature, and the eventual appearance of angels, Satan, and the 4 horsemen, horse people, proves them right. We love Melissa McCarthy as much as anyone, but the talented ensemble can't make up for unlikable characters and an overarching attitude of cynicism.
Maybe you changed our destiny for the better, so I guess thank you.
Well, I'm just happy that that didn't happen and that we're here tonight.
It's ultimately not as funny as it thinks it is, failing to bring much originality to its premise or recruit a noticeable fan base. If you watch for any reason, come for Leslie Bibb's villainness, who she's charmingly modeled after Reese Witherspoon's Tracy Flick.
I wanted her to be a little bit like Tracy Flick in Election.
Yeah.
And I think she desperately wants like friends.
Number 6. The Time Traveler's Wife. Love knows no distance. Not even the space-time continuum or a 38% on Rotten Tomatoes score.
How does it feel? How does it feel? Normal.
Doctor Who producer Stephen Moffat brought Rose Leslie from Westeros into the Warner Bros. Adaptation of Audrey Niffenegger's sci-fi romance novel, with not-so-ripe results. It's all about a couple who fall in love, despite the fact that one of them happens to uncontrollably jump through time.
You're standing there looking like you've never seen me before.
I haven't.
I know. You're so young. You're younger than I've ever seen you.
The show never quite makes sense of this bizarre premise, and the two leads fail to stir up enough chemistry to keep audiences hooked. After only its first season, The Time Traveler's Wife found itself on the cancellation block. A petition has been started by some fans for its renewal, though, so the rickety future of this curious love story remains to be seen.
I grew up waiting for you, longing for you.
I know.
No, you don't.
Number 5. The Good Dish. Depending on how you see it, both the host and the show that spawns this host and show also belong on our list.
Are you a doctor or an Old West traveling salesman?
When TV personality Dr. Mehmet Oz left his talk program to pursue a seat in the U.S. Senate, the network filled the time slot with The Good Dish.
Welcome to The Good Dish. It is your new go-to for how-to, where we elevate everyday foods and put new twists on what you crave the most.
It featured 1 hour of DIY cooking with Oz's daughter Daphne, joined by celebrities to discuss everything from fondue burgers to frozen blondie sandwiches. With staggeringly low ratings, The Good Dish was canceled in less than 8 weeks. It could have been simply poor marketing. Maybe it was her airy personality.
Talk about a little sweet, fatty hit of deliciousness. Sometimes I even put a squirt of sriracha on top if you like a little sweet with your heat.
Maybe viewers saw inherent nepotism in subbing Daphne in for the doctor. Whatever the reason, this dish failed to cleanse enough palates to stick around. Number 4. Halo. There may come a time when a film studio or television network produces an award-worthy video game adaptation, but it is not this day. The hugely loved Halo franchise has blanketed gaming platforms, comic books, animated film, and more. Anticipation for a series was guaranteed, but hope diminished the moment Master Chief removed his helmet. Despite some moderate critical praise, fans felt betrayed by some glaring inconsistencies between the show and its source material. Master Chief in particular didn't behave like the protagonist that gamers had played, and a highly controversial scene involving Chief and a prisoner of war only fuels the negative flames. We'll be seeing more of this renewed series, but its current standing is disappointing shrapnel compared to the legacy of its name. Number 3. Fairview. It seems a lot of talent missed the mark in 2022. Stephen Colbert took his turn as executive producer of Fairview, an animated sitcom about the legless but opinionated members of a small town.
Wow, I can't believe such lameness is coming from the same Kelly Sampson who used to swallow 4 rum-soaked tampons.
No political idea is off limits. Topical discussions include climate change, cryptocurrency, cancel culture, and COVID-19. With mainstays of political satire like South Park and Family Guy afoot, Fairview feels more like a cheap knockoff of better predecessors.
Accusing him of being misogynist, racist, and generally very gross.
Cancel culture! Cancel culture has struck again! Mayor Kelly, they're taking down Sammy Sugar for the victimless crime of being terrible to his victims!
Many found the animation unappealing, and its raunchy humor lacking in memorable commentary and imagination. If you're jonesing for some Colbert comedy, you're probably better off catching the nightly Late Show monologue. Number 2. Adults adopting adults. We've seen our fair share of problematic reality shows.
Our lives are about ready to change. Yes, they are.
In 2022 so far, this Weakest Link takes the cake boss. Focusing on various subjects, Adults Adopting Adults details each person's process of legally acquiring family members who, as the title implies, are already adults.
I'm Felicia, and this is Tawny, and we want to be adult adopted by Jenny and Michael. Let me tell you a funny story. This is the 3rd attempt.
3rd time's the charm.
The show couldn't even go 3 episodes without drowning in controversy, as it came to light that one of the adopters had a questionable history with an 18-year-old adoptee. Though not given as the official reason for the program's sudden cancellation, we certainly see the difficulty in overlooking the scandal.
Me and Danny, we have a very daughter and father-like bond. We talk about everything and we just make fun of everything. We have our jokes, but me and Christy don't have a good connection yet.
But honestly, doesn't the premise alone make you feel uncomfortable creepiness taking up residence on your own skin cells? Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Resident Evil. We hate to kick a wounded franchise when it's down, but we have to be critical of what we love. Though not praised, the first film series at least had Mila Jovovich and some indelible badass moments. Following the equally drab Welcome to Raccoon City and Infinite Darkness movies, this serial may never have stood much of a chance. It suffers from a muddled story, forgettable performances, and fails to capture the feeling of impending terror that made the horror game so beloved.
You don't want to do this. You play with Umbrella, you lose. Always.
I'm gonna play. I just happen to have something they need.
Is this about money?
Money's worthless.
Much like the T-Virus, Resident Evil adaptations refuse to die out, and there was so much hope that this one could get it right. With that tenacity, though, a new season could still breathe life into the adventures of Raccoon City's survivors.
I'm out.
You're not out. I'm the only reason you were ever in.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.